All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. Give me a minute to get all this stuff up. I'm going to work on a couple things while I chat with everybody as we get people in here, hopefully. Get some good conversations going. And again, hoping we have a nice, productive stream. All right. Some good chats. It's a training day. All I really got to get done today, chatting with a few clients here, former clients. I got one of them talking about coming back. What's up, Peppermint? How you doing? Trying to chat with one of my guys. He's in the middle of moving countries back and forth. He does packages. He was going to try to come back this month in November, and I'm trying to chat with him and see how he's doing. Appreciate the likes, by the way. But I'm still waking up. This is my first cup of coffee. But yeah, so he's been moving back and forth. He's in Japan at the moment. He was in the Netherlands. Hopefully get him resolved. But yeah, get him resolved. He's not even able to really lift in the middle of his transition. He's like, I'm just doing body weight stuff. Yeah. Just was an issue. Yeah. All right. What's up, EJ? What's going on, guys? Let's get those likes going. And yeah, still waking up. I'm still chatting back and forth with the client who's working on coming back in. He just messaged me as I was about to set up the coffee chat a minute ago. So spent a couple minutes chatting, seeing where he's at with everything. How are you guys doing this morning? All right. I see that the Facebook profile or page bonus to work. I got the profile one yesterday for the week. Eat really easy too. Gotta get those multiple posts to reach a 24,000 reach though. I'm a day in and I haven't got one. So you guys need to hop over and help a brother out on Facebook. That's what we need. That's the solution, y'all. I had to use my live stream, people. Might be mostly listening. It's all good, man. I got to get to bed soon in order to grow, but I'll stick around. Cool, guys. Here, you guys go down the road. Like all my stuff on Facebook. That'll help. That'll help coach out. I just linked it. Yeah. At least we got people in comments in here early. That's a good thing. I should make a community tab. Should I make a community? Do you guys even see the community tab post in the morning? So to the regulars, if I make that community tab post, does it pop up separate sometimes from the alert for the live stream? Yeah. Hey fellas, what's up, Dad? I don't know how that works. Not for me. So it's almost, is it maybe a waste of time to do it? I think on the coffee chats it might be. Maybe the afternoon ones, because sometimes I'll put it up and the views will kick up. So strange too. It's like I get these comments on these vegans arguing and other people, and they're arguing about grass-fed beef and being fed grains, and do people not realize this? I'm going to assume, since most of you have never, none of your families have ever been involved in cattle raising or the cattle industry. Do people outside of that actually think that cows spend their whole life like being raised in a feedlot or something? Do they not realize that factory farm cattle spend like a year and a half out in a grass pasture before they're fed out? I'm curious if people not know this or not. I'm actually, if you guys will let me know, like, are people aware that that is standard practice? That cow that goes to the factory farm that you guys think of spent a year and spent probably 18 months out in a grass field in the sun eating grass before that. So I'm actually curious if people are aware of this or not. Yeah. But that wasn't the question, EJ. Yeah. Okay, so you know. Yeah. So the ones that even in the factory farming, that's the final 6 weeks. That cow is a year and a half, or that heifer or steer, grew up out in a pasture in a herd. They buy them, right? So all these independent ranchers sell them to the factory farms and meatpacking plants at auctions. Good morning, Ryan. What's up? And then they're fed out in the feedlots. Whereas if you buy just grass-fed beef, you buy ones that weren't fed out in the feedlots. So I grew up entirely on grass-fed beef. Like, we never bought the store stuff, right? Because we had unlimited access to the family ranch. So yes, technically I lived on a lot of grass-fed beef during my original weight loss journey. Because I didn't have to buy it. Like, I didn't pay for it. It was free. Grass-fed beef is a lot really fun. So yeah, I mean, that's what we had access to. So even my early lifting days, I mean, I had access to grass-fed beef. Like, so I used to probably eat, when I was a new lifter, probably two pounds of grass-fed steak every day. And I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for any of it. Like, it was family. I wouldn't mess with the ranch and stuff. So clearing out the feral hogs is one of the things. So I mean, I earned it in a way. But so yeah, I ate like 2 pounds of grass-fed beef at least my first year as serious lifter. So yeah, hold on, I'm gonna be right back, guys. I need coffee. Hey Ryan, would you tap all my stuff on Facebook? Try to get those numbers up. It's doing good. It's trickling up actually. No, the thing with grass-fed beef, EJ, is just it's leaner. It's leaner, and in hypothetically, the omega-3 ratio to saturated fat ratio is a slightly bit higher, but it's very, very small. It's still not a good source of omega-3. So I love how the carnivore and keto people will push that. They're like, well, grass-fed beef is a great source of omega-3. I'm like, it's really not. I mean, it has a hair more if it's grass-fed, but it's still not sufficient. Does that make sense? It's not really enough. So even though I've gone back over to really low fat, I'm actually, and I have some of the fish oil in the freezer for the extra strength. I've been doing omega-3 eggs. That's my only real fat source as of the last few days. It's my 2 omega-3 eggs every day. And then I've gone over to just really low fat. I feel like I'll recomp much faster at this point. I got sick of protein overfeeding. I'm like, let's just do carbs. I can do 200 grams of protein easily. It's hard for me to even eat less than that. I don't even know how. I could go vegan, I guess, and eat less than 200 grams. But the problem is, like, I'm going to eat my 2 eggs and I'm going to eat chicken. I'm recomping, Dad. I mean, if the scale trickles down, eventually it will have to. That's fine. But I want to simply gain muscle, lose fat, get stronger, improve performance. So I'm actually very happy with the fact that at this weight, my strength is going up. And I felt like that one clip in the lighting, I'm looking leaner when I get out in the sunlight. All right. I feel like we're looking leaner. So here's what I mean. So these here. So that snapshot from that particular set, the lighting or the sun just hit at the right angle. And I could tell when I zoomed in a lot of it, I had veins everywhere. No. I mean, hypothetically, so usually when people are trying to recomp, they'll stay about the same weight, but recomposition doesn't matter if you're gaining or losing weight. It's recomposition. So when we say recomping, that means you are gaining muscle and losing fat both. Whether the scale is going up or not is a different question, because it's possible to lean bulk and lose fat. It's possible to lose slow cut and gain muscle, right? They're all a recomp. Because if you were doing both at the same time, that is recomposition. I thought it was weird. I saw an influencer like yesterday in my reels saying you can't do, but it's impossible unless you're a noob. When someone says something's impossible and yet it's been demonstrated in the lab, I'm just saying to me, you sound stupid. If you say something is impossible and someone goes and does it in a laboratory, are you right? All right. Like if something's been done in 15 separate studies, and in this case, non-novices, trained lifters, I bet you could find 30 studies where recomposition occurred if you were to go looking. And trained lifters already, right? And yet someone says it's impossible. Can you take that seriously? Desert Stars, per a new British study, only 1 in 5 UK males are weightlifting. 1 in 5 are doing it? Or do you mean the ones who are at the gym? What are you talking about? Yeah, so are you telling me this study said that 1/5 of British men lift weights? Or are you talking about, what do you mean acceptable cadence? So you're talking about the men who are in the gym? I don't understand what you're saying at all, does it? Because that doesn't make, something's not jiving when the math isn't mathing. Because when I lived in the UK, I would say nowhere near 1 in 5 men went to the gym. Only like 3% of American men, 5% would ever go to the gym. I don't think it's any higher in the UK. Lost it. Oh, the ones. Okay. What do we mean by it? Like they're weak? I agree. 90% of men who go to the gym are weaker than kittens still. Right? Which is why I put out things like my dad bod strength standard. And then people think it's crazy, and I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. right, says me. All right. Okay. So we're trying to get you to clarify this. So is this men who go to the gym already? So you're talking about men with active gym memberships, only 1 in 5 work out enough. That I'll believe. That sounds about right. But if you mean men in general, 95% don't work out at all. So that number can't be correct. But if you work out correctly and enough, that you are going to lift more. In other words, there is no way you are training correctly and not getting really strong. It's just not possible. Right? So even if you spent in the gym as a grown man, you went in the gym and you did mostly machines, but you used progressive overload with sufficient volume, and you actually did hard sets, you would reach my dad bod strength standards. Okay. You can't tell me that a guy who's been lifting for 15 years can't walk over and deadlift 220 kilograms. I refuse to believe this. Like, that's why I'm saying those videos. What did you do the entire time? Masturbate watching the girls on the stair stepper? Did you not work out? Because there's no way you progressively overloaded all the muscles in your body and didn't get really strong. It's just not biologically possible. Hey, Dad, I've done 11 reps with 230 in my 40s on camera. $11 reps. Like, actually, I'm doing sets of 6 with 500 pounds right now, like every workout. But no, but I mean, and that's my point though, Dad. Are you guys training your entire body with progressive overload? Notice I didn't even ask you what exercises you did. Are you training every muscle in your body with progressive overload for 10 or 15 years? Hey, Peppermint, here's my line. Everyone says I have horrible genetics. So if I'm that strong, then the average person should be even stronger. Right? Because the whole internet says I have horrible genetics. So if my genetics are below average, and in my 40s, I walk over and deadlift 280 kilograms with a belt and chalk, then the average person should be able to absolutely destroy me with just some basic training. You know, that's all I'm saying, dude. I mean, I'm in my late 40s doing stuff like that. All right. I'm going to market that, since so many people do the genetic thing. I'm going to market it that I have the worst genetics. So if I can achieve these things, what could the average person do with my coaching? The average guy, man. Whew. You can build Superman. So what's going on, guys? Because I mean, I hit 185 kilogram squat 18 months into working out with below average genetics. So I did that in less than 2 years of starting lifting. So what could the average guy do then? Just good training. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, guys? But no, but I do mean that. And that's the point, Dad. Are you consistently training? And I think that's the point I make with those standards. If you're using any form of basic progressive overload method for 10 plus years straight, and you're training your entire body, every muscle in your body, Why wouldn't you be strong? I mean, objectively, like if you go look at the wide variety of scientific studies looking at myofibular growth and cross-sectional area, force production strength, there's no reason you wouldn't have advanced powerlifter numbers. Zero reason at all. Did you go vegan? Did you not eat protein? Like what happened here? Or was Martin Berkham right with his fuck arounditis article? Dudes are going to the gym, but they're goofing off. They're playing. They are playing. Where do you think the cap is for a natural liver specifically? That's a terrible question, Dad. Because I've had a drug-free lifter on camera deadlift 320 kilograms. One of my clients on camera, who's a drug-tested lifter. So, what is the cap for a natural lifter? Because technically, a 6'3" Eastern European guy living in a Slavic country is still a natural lifter, are they not? I love that when people pull that, you get horrible jokes like, dude, I'm Slavic. We're known for our strength sports. Like, we're not exactly. That's why I laugh with the genetic thing. It's like, because I have loose skin from losing 70 kilograms of fat when I was younger, because I had binge eating as a result of my child molestation, which I've discussed why that happened. Psych could explain how that works quite well, I'm sure. The team wanted to find out what proportion of these adults in English met the UK's weekly health guidelines to recommend 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, including 2 bouts of lifting. I don't think 20% of men in the UK. Hey, Desert, I think this study is complete BS. There is no way 1 in 5 British men lift weights twice a week. I think they studied men who have gym memberships. I would need to see the study, though. Could you go send it to me somewhere on social media? Will standard suitcase deadlifts hold for 30 seconds each arm help my conventional deadlift? They'll help your grip. They won't help your deadlift itself. Right? They got obviously have immense muscles. Yeah, he had a Croatian national record at the time. So, as a natty to get to the brutally strong, he must be. I mean, I put the footage up. I had him do like 300 with on a deficit pull before. All right. He did drop out though. Yeah, so Desert, you might want to go look at the actual study. I don't think they studied the entire population. I think they went and studied men at a certain gym chain or something. Right? Because there's no way that's right. We all know the average person in all of these countries does not work out enough. But I mean, I would be okay. I think the average guy could lift weights twice a week and get phenomenal results. Then people say, why aren't you programming that? Because you're not going to get the ideal results. I think you really need 3 days of lifting. But I mean, honestly, I could take the average guy and just GPP them up to better, more muscle, more fitness than the average person who follows bodybuilding programs with machines that they find online. All right. I could have dudes go in and do a full body workout twice a week with 5 exercises and then spend the rest of their time running and doing GPP work. And they would do great. right? Just do GPP with what you have available. I'm running MagCal at the moment, do you think? I think MagCal is very antiquated and outdated. I don't like systems of training to where you run low quality sets based on percentages on different days. I think it's a waste of time. You see me leave a bunch of reps in reserve on my fives and stuff. Do you see me or any of my really serious lifters train that way? It's a good way to stay small. I mean, I guess if you run enough steroids, you can bridge the gap. But what if you're on no drugs? Like, what if you're blasting less than a gram of testosterone a week? So as natural as less than a gram, right? So let's assume you're on less than a gram of testosterone every week, less than 1,000. 0 is still less than 1,000. Remember this. Why would you come in and do a bunch of fives that are 10 or 15 kilos less than your 5-rep max or 20 kilos less? Why would you do that? Unless you're doing dynamic work, but I'd like to maybe see some bands and chains at that point. Right, I said, I just acquired a big tire to use as a sled. Man, I wish I had a big tire to roll around in my yard right now. I should have probably figured out how to. I had looked into that at one time and ended up not doing it when I first moved here. What is your opinion on deadlifting once every 2 weeks if I'm doing 5 sets of 4? Why are you doing 5 sets? I don't have a problem with once a 14-day deadlifting if you're bridging the gap with other pulls and squats. Okay? I don't have a problem with that, Jared. Why are you doing 5 sets of 4? And then spacing it out every 2 weeks. I'm not sure what we're doing here. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily program that way. I was going to deadlift that infrequently, though. I don't know that that would be my protocol. I mean, I've done stuff where I did 10 triples and things. Now I just do 1 set every workout. We just do 1 really hard set. I'm going to get a dump truck tire as well. I'm the strongest one, my GBP, right? I feel like my GBP is working great. Hey, Desert, because you're adding weight every single workout. Because you're starting out, okay? How quickly are you hitting failure on those? This is a linear progression program, Desert. You're adding 5 pounds every single workout. So let's say you started at whatever 65%. All right, so let's say your max is 100 and you're starting. Well, let's say your max is whatever. Yeah, let's call it 100 pounds. You start with 65 and you're doing 70, 75, 80 within a week. And when you start having low quality sets, form breaks, or you reach failure, you reduce the weight 5% or 10% and then reset over and over. Do you understand why we do it that way? I've made videos explaining why cookie cutter linear progression programs do this. It's a fail safe. It's to keep you from being lazy. It will keep you within 10% of your upper end strength all the time, right? You'll very quickly be with 1 to 2 reps in reserve all the time if you do it that way. And then when you tap it out, you're forced to scale it back and reduce it 10% because you've now exceeded 100% of your ability. So I have coaching slots open. You need a coach. That's what you need. All right. We'll get you cock diesel strong. She's like, I don't want to be cock diesel strong. Trust me, you need to be cock diesel strong. All right. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. My GPP is way up, and I'm actually seeing my squat and deadlift moving back up again after that cut. I'm not going to look at PAL psych. Thank you, Jason. I will switch to hitting my deadlift every 10 days instead because I hit dumbbell rows every 5 days. All right. Keep in mind, Jared, when we start spacing deadlifts out 14 days or this longer than a week, it's because we're maxing out. All right. Hey, Desert, I don't agree. Again, I know why Windler says that. I have all of his books, by the way. I have all the 531 books. I understand why he says that, but this is for cookie cutter programs. I don't do that with my clients. Like I would never do that training someone one-on-one. I want them right at the bleeding edge within a week. I don't, Ryan, do we leave 3 reps in reserve on anything? Ryan's a client. He's getting stronger while losing weight now. He's down almost 100 pounds body weight. What are you down 93 right now? How many reps we leave in the tank? Yeah. We don't ever leave more than 1 rep in reserve or we go to failure. I have him do weighted chin-ups to failure. We do weighted dips to failure. All right. It wasn't naturally. I was very low dose of testosterone. But might as well be natural by internet standards. What lift helped me the deads the most? I'm going to go with a combination of reverse hypers and probably axle bar rows probably helped the most for that. Because that 635 was with a stiff bar, not a deadlift bar. I had to have the grip to hold it. Ryan, what are we training for, man? He said, are we training for strength or for aesthetics? Ryan just wants to not be fat anymore. But he is getting surprisingly jacked. I mean, he is benching 3 plates now on his weight loss journey. Ryan's goal is to be strong, fit, and cock diesel. Yeah, he doesn't care about aesthetics per se. We're not necessarily trying to be beautiful. I have clients who do care about aesthetics, and that's a different ballgame. Um, 531 is a good intermediate program, Desert. It is not for advanced lifters for the most part. I think it's a great intermediate template, though. Working like a dog, proof cardio doesn't kill gains, right? Yeah. Yeah, Ryan's looking great. You'll get bodybuilders or other people who are like, he's not ripped, he's a fat dude. It's like he's lost 93 pounds while getting stronger. Like, there got to be a point where people got to quit hating. It's like, I don't know, someone's 100 pounds into their weight loss journey and they're benching 3 plates and doing cardio every day. And people will still talk trash. They will talk trash. People are funny. They're so funny. Like, y'all got to be kidding. Yeah, no, Ryan is looking better and better. That's the thing he noted too the other day. He's like, Coach, since we went over to this training style, he goes, my upper body is getting thicker. He's like, I'm losing weight, but like my chest and shoulders. All those weighted dips, man. It's those weighted dips. No, we only do 7 exercises. Ryan does 7 exercises. Squat, bench, deadlift, weighted chin-ups, weighted dips, front squats. We just switched that to safety bar squats and reverse hypers. That's it. You know. But go back and look at older eras before the pussification of the training world and all these machines. Look at I knew guys back when I was coming up who did stuff like the super squat programs, and they all got jacked. Dudes got jacked running super squats back in the day. German volume training is trash dumpster. Even research on the German volume training was lackluster. GVT now desert. I will say, man, you go up to 2 grams a test, throw some growth in there. If you only care about size, right? A couple grams of testosterone a week with a little growth, a little insulin. GVT will get you pretty big pretty quick. Plenty of serious bodybuilders ran it back in the day. Good night, coach. I got to go to bed. See you all tomorrow. Take care, Dad. But outside of that, like for a drug-free lifter, yeah, I don't think so. It does horrible in the research. Did you look at that one study where they took GVT and compared it to doing 5 sets of 10 on 2 different lifts, and they gained like 8% more muscle by just doing 2 different exercises for 5 sets instead of the GVT? Oh my gosh. That's embarrassing. I have a friend who just says barbell pullovers. I think barbell pullovers are a good exercise. No, I mean, is it going to necessarily improve his bench if it makes his chest and triceps bigger? But really, it's a supplement working a different part of the muscles more than anything. No, I think pullovers are fantastic, Jared. I always did a lot of play. Like I took them back out, but if you remember, I was up to like sets of 15 with a pair of 45-pound plates pinched together, pullovers. Right. Barbells hurt. I can't do the barbell ones. They hurt my elbow tendons really bad. I just can't do them. Like they inflame the hell out of me. But I can do them with plates. And I don't have heavy enough dumbbells that I feel safe. Like I can load my dumbbells heavy enough, but I'm scared with the clips I'm going to bust my face. Plates are going to slide off. Like I can do dumbbells over 200 pounds. But it's the problem of getting it clamped correctly. I don't trust my clamps. Yeah. No, I think pullovers are good. Is it necessarily going to be the best bench accessory? Right? Maybe not. I think the best bench accessories are going to depend on where you're weakest. Like if you just need more pec, I think stuff like dips work great. Possibly floor presses. That's what we did with Mikey. We got Mikey's bench from 295 up to like 365 while he was a client, while we were blogging. Right, as a drug-free dude, but he bulked pretty hard. His chest was really lacking. We used a lot of dips and floor presses. If you tend to miss just off the chest, I think incline and overhead work really well. All right. Overhead press. Any type of overhead press, if depending upon where you're weak. So Jared, where do you miss your benches at? I need to see your bar path and where you fail. Right? Because if your shoulders are not a weak link, it's not going to improve, and your shoulder work's not going to make your bench go up. In my experience, I'm stronger now than when I used to strict press 225 on the bench. My bench is stronger now than it was back then. Just an FYI. Missed them 3/4 of the way up. How wide do you grip? Clark says, hello, friend. What's up? Where do you grip the bar? Like how far is your pinky or other fingers from the rings? 30-inch grip. Where is that 30-inch? Is that your pinky or your index? So just give me the relative to the rings then. So your pinky's at 30 inches? Because the rings are 32. Middle finger on the ring. So we're a reasonably wide grip, and we're missing that far out. You're missing 3/4, like you're sure it's that high. Right. So if you're missing that high, I'd do some close grip work. I'd do some close grip benching. I'd look at other heavier tricep work, focus more on triceps. Because you're missing that far up with a wider grip. Oh, we're missing halfway up. Is it before or after your transition? How heavy are you lifting? Okay, this is narrowing it down. How much weight are we moving here? No, he said it's halfway up. So if we're halfway up, is it before or after the transition shift towards your face? Do what I mean? I don't have footage here. This makes this difficult. Also, how much weight are we talking about here? Also, why do we only have 4 likes, guys? There's like 6 people commenting currently active with 4 likes. Come on. All right. All right, this person reaching out. What are they reaching out? Bro, I have a homeopathic transdermal gel. Do you have 15? Hell no. Get the hell out of my inbox. Why do people think that I'm going to want to hear that? Okay, so we're 402. Okay, so we're moving real weight, Jared. Okay, so we're about halfway up. You benched that sort of weight. I'd hammer incline, man. I'd hammer incline bench for a while. For you personally. All right. So we're missing about halfway. You moved some pretty respectable weight. I'd work on incline. I think it would do really well for you there. All right. We still only got 4 likes though. Man. Another post. Things your post. Then I'm going to get some coffee. Might be a longer than average coffee break. All right. Thank you. I've started focusing. You incline starts between 8 to 12 reps. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what your whole program looks like. I mean, even 3 sets of that a week will help you. All right, there we go. I'm going to be right back, guys. back. Hey, Benjamin, please quit paraphrasing me. Hey, Benjamin, you're a regular. I'm going to ask you to stop paraphrasing me because I never said that. It has an indirect effect, right? And I have answered to you. I have answered to you personally in extreme detail. I gave you like a 5-minute discussion explaining this. You don't get to paraphrase and write nonsense like that. Is that fair? Because yeah, thank you. Because I gave you a highly detailed biomechanic explanation. I remember specifically giving you personally a detailed biomechanic explanation for that no expert would disagree with. You don't get to paraphrase it like that. That's called lying. And then it discredits me, right? Blaha said this. See, right there in the stream, someone said that he said it. You see what I mean? That you're literally trying to hurt my reputation. You're trying to make me sound stupid. Okay, thank you. All right, I appreciate it. Because I gave you a highly detailed answer. Okay, is RFK a net benefit for physical wellness and development in America? He exercised a lot, and I don't recall the promotion from other. The problem is I don't think that's a net. He hasn't been a net benefit, unfortunately. All right. He hasn't been a net benefit. I wish that he would have been. He talked a really good game, but all I've seen is a bunch of kooky conspiracy theories and carnivore type nonsense. I'm not seeing the substance, unfortunately. And I was very supportive of when he first hit with this. Like, let's be clear, I was publicly supportive. I am not impressed. Right? He's been a great disappointment. Hey, Benjamin, the Cliff Notes. Stance width will affect knee angles, but the entirety of your quad activation on a squat is going to be relative to the joint angle that you reach with the knee joint. Okay. But to say that width doesn't affect that, no, it will affect how deep that you get in different positions. Sure. It can have an indirect effect, but the width itself doesn't have a direct effect because it is about the knee joint angle, right? What you will find is for most people, the wider you go, the less knee angle you need to reach parallel. But in theory, if you still dropped ass to grass with a wide stance, it would be the same. Okay, and that's the very short cliff notes of the previous answer. But it can have an indirect effect because it will affect your entire form. Yeah, I mean, promoting beef tallow. Let's be clear, the whole anti-seed oil thing is crazy. The entire anti-seed oil thing is insanity. I like the band rage, yeah, actually. And when we say that, I'm not telling people to drink seed oil, you're just adding fat calories. Seed oils are objectively, in every study around the world, objectively healthier than saturated fat. Over and over and over and over and over. Doesn't make them healthy, but this whole idea that saturated fat for any purpose is going to be better than the seed oils is ludicrous. Now, I personally advocate that you don't add any extra fats. I don't cook with any oils. I don't recommend you cook with any oils. But if you're going to go off of actual evidence, It's less of a problem. Yeah. You shouldn't be out in people's DMs. So, if you guys are communicating with each other off of here, considering there's no DM feature in YouTube, it sounds like you two are a pair of trolls in cahoots. But it sounds like you're a troll, Nick. I mean, a little bit of avocado oil, not the same thing. But again, why are people frying in fat to begin with? Like, that's kind of my point. People are arguing. When people have arguments about should we be frying our food in seed oils versus beef tallow, you're frying your foods. I don't understand the word health or fitness at all in this entire context. When I hear people arguing this, I'm like, you fat asses are going to choke and die on your own fat and die of heart attacks. Just stop. As someone who's been 320 pounds, that's where my brain goes. I go, you fat asses. You fat, disgusting, revolting people. Why are you cooking your food in oils? Do you want to be fat? Do you want to die of a heart attack? Do you want to have diabetes and cancer? Stop. Why are we having this conversation at all? To me, let's take it into hyperbole. Hey guys, we're debating if meth or heroin are more healthy. Which one's healthier? To anyone who has any concern for health and fitness when they hear this argument, that's what it sounds like. It would be like us having a national debate on whether meth or heroin are healthier. So when people make these arguments, do you know how stupid you sound? To me, that is what it sounds like. That is the level of stupidity that I interpret the entire argument. Seed oils versus beef tallow or butter. Hey, Coach, day 3 of training, lifting, running. Hey, Benjamin. So, when you start a question with, if something doesn't matter, so if A, then B, well, your A is false. So how do we go to the B? Now, I will agree with your secondary point, but I don't agree with your first point. Do you see the problem with the question? So how about we just eliminate the lie? You told a lie. The first point is flat false. Okay. So let's remove the false statement. All right. Let's remove the part that squat width doesn't matter, because no reasonable person thinks that, including me. I've never said it nor implied it. So let's remove that. And I want to add a word. I'm going to add a word. Should most, people just squat in a width that suits their frame? Yes. How's that? I want to be very specific in this answer. Let's remove the completely false statement that no reasonable coach in the world believes, including me. We'll take your second one and add a single word and give you a yes. Fair? Having a conversation with, okay. but now you're adding qualifiers for overall. No. But you said it doesn't matter. See the problem? We're mixing completely different topics. You're dropping like 4 different topics here. So let's all drop it back down. You can't make it as a universal squat. Squat width matters a lot. But now we come over to regarding overall leg growth. Okay, well, that's a different topic. But just in general, keep in mind, you're talking to a strength coach. I care about getting people strong. It kind of matters, yeah. But that being said, yeah, and I support that idea. In fact, I've squat with different stances over time. I don't think you have to stick to just one stance on the squat, to be honest. How many of the guys who were out there who promoted only the low bar squat, this is all you said all we should do, are not able to squat anymore either? How'd that work out for Omar Issoff? I mean, how many of my contemporaries who pushed the whole full low bar all the time are now too broken and they can't hang with me, and I literally out squat them? Let's talk about that for a reference. Instead of just finding different positions and training different positions from time to time, high bar, low bar, wider, narrower, just getting strong at squatting in general, rotating bars here or there for phases whenever I feel like, versus these guys who are broken, my contemporaries, who said one size fits all, this is what we do all the time. They're all beat up. They can't hang with me. I'm about to be 49. I can squat them into the ground. Yeah, I technically high bar squat right now. I rep out 405 rep work, high bar at the moment. You know, yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that. You can vary with, toes should usually be out. But I'm simply pointing out varying this stuff a little bit and just getting strong at squatting goes a long way. Right? Goes a long way. And then you've watched me walk in and hit 500 on a high bar or a low bar earlier this year. Was it back in January? Walked in and just raw dog 500 with nothing but a belt and shorts on. Not even doing other stuff. Just get strong at squatting, Benjamin. I think a lot of guys end up with overuse on that really crazy low bar. I think that's the problem. Right. I think that's the issue we run into. Overuse on that really hardcore low bar all the time. How many of those guys are not able to perform anymore? I mean, hell, even Candido can't lift anymore. So how many of my contemporaries on this platform from 12 years ago are no longer having longevity under the barbell, who got into these very dogmatic ideas with their squatting and other stuff? It's funny, people act like I'm dogmatic, but I'm really not. And the same people, people critical Blaha rotates some of his stuff too much. He flip flops too much. I'm like, I'm about to be 49 and I still have elite strength numbers, and I'm really, really fit in terms of conditioning, not shredded bodybuilder, but as an athlete. So maybe people should flip flop a little more. Maybe they should be careful of overuse and varying, and being careful of being too locked into certain things all the time. Not saying we even have to change exercises. You can do 6 basic movement patterns and be okay. But I think that's something to think about, varying your squat style, finding what's comfortable at any given time. If anything feels fatigued, then adjust it. If you're getting a little bit of knee inflammation, go wider. If you're getting any hip inflammation, go a little narrower. Adjust it and just keep going. You should flip flop more. You want to squat 500 pounds when you're 50. Just saying, guys. Or at 48. I did. Yeah. You guys should work on your conditioning. You should just be generally fit. You should cut junk food out of your diet. I mean, that's the one that gets me too. I'm also reading about sitting down versus sitting back on squats. Depends on what we're trying to do. Depends on bar position, stance widths, you know. Like I sit way back when I'm working box squats, and a lot of times I can work box squats and then come in and hit massive back squats. I sit back. I sit way back. But I tend to sit down when I'm doing that. So like say like Monday, I did that 405 for 7 on the high bar. I'm pretty much sitting down. I mean, there's going to be some back, but I'm just sitting into it. But when I'm going to do a low bar with a wider stance, or I'm doing box squatting, I push the hips back, right? So a lot of it's biomechanics specific. How are you doing, Joel? You got to think about what you're doing with the movement pattern. You know? And supplemental work should complement that. So if I'm pushing box squats in that type of squat, I'm going to go really hard on good mornings too. Well, yeah, it depends on people's frames and structures, but it depends on what technique you're using too. You know. But I think that's the other thing too. At different points, even in my 40s, have you guys not watched me squat over 500 with every style? Have you not seen me build high bar and low bar over 500? Have you not watched me hit over 500 on 4 different barbells? 600 on one of them in the past, in my 40s. So no, it's not all about that. It's about being well-rounded and finding your groove for your structure on any variation. Yeah, he rebuilt on purely boxes. Box squats definitely work. I just don't like them for reps. So because I'm doing rep work and I'm using it for a lot of hypertrophy, because I'm doing mostly hypertrophy work. I'm not doing really low reps right now on anything. Can you generally, for me, not necessarily. No, not always. Depends on what I've been training. I mean, I've hit 550 on a high bar before, Benjamin. I've hit 250 kilograms on a high bar on camera before when bulked up, heavier. Have I not? Have I done it on camera? Yeah, box squats for reps is torture. It just, no. Mm-mm. Only for speed work. So I like singles on box squats though. Hey Joel, I feel like I've covered this quite a bit even a year ago. Sam is showing he does not have the genetics to bodybuild the way he's trying to. He doesn't. He's going to die. Very straightforward. And that's not a hate statement. That's nothing about him as a human being. It's nothing about his personality. He doesn't have the genetic tolerance to steroids to do what he's trying to do. Pro bodybuilding is a contest to see who can take the most drugs without dying. That's the single most important trait. And you need to be really short. You need to be a midget with a high tolerance to steroid side effects. Right? So that's not him. Yeah, so you're seeing all that sign of cardiac inflammation at a very young age. That's a death sentence. And I said that a year ago. And that's not a hate. I don't dislike Sam. He strikes me as a good kid. Right? My initial impression of him as a person, I get the feeling he's a good kid. But he's going to die young. My favorite thing about box squats is a set range of motion, much like a controlled pause bench, right? How do adductors compare to quads, hamstrings, and glutes in terms of size? I would need to pull data. I mean, obviously they're going to be a little smaller. Well, I don't know if they're smaller than hamstrings. No. Can hot showers help recovery from a cold? I can't see them having any impact on your immune system at all. You know. Yeah, like I don't get any impression that Sam is like a bad person. So when I say that, people will think it's a personal attack. No, I'm simply calling that his activity is going to kill him. It's nothing to do with him as a human being. He strikes me as a good kid. And to me, he is a kid. Context of the age. I could almost be his grandfather. He's a kid. Right? He's a kid. He seems like a good kid. Right? Hey, Jan, you might want to go talk to your medical doctor. This is not my forte. I'm speaking as a voice of experience who's predicted the death of many bodybuilders within 1 year, within 6 months of accuracy. Multiple people I've said they're going to be dead by X time frame, and they were in videos, and then they died 6 months or a year after I made the video. I've called others at several years. I'm someone who's has a history of doing this. I don't know. It's too early to tell. But it's not looking good for the long term. Like, will Sam make it to 40? No, I don't think he will. At the rate I'm seeing now. But could I narrow it down and say, oh, he's gone in 3 years? I can't make a claim like that yet. But the signs I'm seeing now, unless he makes some drastic changes in the near future, he is not going to make it to 40, unfortunately. And that sucks because he seems like a good kid, you know? So when I say that, I'm not like, ho, ho, ho. It's like, no, man, that sucks, dude. It's not even about hopping off. It's about scaling way back. He's probably used too much. He's never going to come off. Like, he's probably crushed his natural production. But if he were to trim down to a very tolerable amount, possibly, yeah. Problem is that's way too much inflammation too young. Hey, Benjamin, stop. Benjamin, you can't write a list like that. That's not going to work. So if I tell you the primary movers, let's remove the entire order thing. Benjamin, how much are you squatting? I'm a serious question. What are your numbers right now? Because I see some problems here. As a coach, I'm seeing a problem. What are you lifting, bro? I know it's not worth mentioning. I can tell. I'd like you to say it, though, so that we have a context. Because I'm going somewhere with this. How long have you been lifting? How much are you squatting? You're going to get some free coaching right here. I want a number. How long have you been lifting consistently, and what are you squatting? What are your working sets? You're welcome, young. Yes, including, no. Okay. I don't know what including the bar means. Can you give me a flat number? Do you see me say including the bar? I say 500 pounds. Okay. All right. How long have you been training? So you got 40 total pounds, or 40 kilos. So that's about 90 pounds. All right. How long have you been training? You've been in here a year asking questions. Around a year. I think you do way too much paralysis by analysis. I think you need to get in and lift some heavy weight with good form. Your paralysis by analysis is out of control, completely out of control, while you were weak as a kitten. Like you're below girl level strength. And I'm not being mean. You're below average female lifter level strength. I coached girls who were 120 pounds who would destroy you. You see a problem here? Paralysis by analysis. You need to get in and do some real training. Why are you doing 17 rep sets with 40 kilograms? Do you see me coaching like that? Me personally? So why are you doing it? Stop with the paralysis by analysis. Like, do you really think you can set the order of primary movers on the back squat? Do you really think you can break it down that way? You can't. And you're wasting your time with that. You're wasting your time with that, and you still got 40 kilograms on the bar. This is a problem. Let's see how that benching looks today. Ryan's sending me his training clips while he's in here. All right, hold on, let me check it out. How's the benching looking today? I want to keep that really good. Good. 315 smooth today. Super clean. All right, good. We're getting stronger. You got this, brother, but I mean, I'm just going to give you some tough love. You need to quit pussyfooting around, son. Are you a magician or just a good coach? No, I am not a wizard. All right? I didn't go to Hogwarts, any of that stuff. It's fine if you want to do high reps. I want to see high reps with 100 kilos. I want to see 100 kg on the bar for high reps then. All right? You're pussyfooting around. Get some weight on the bar. Get your form dialed in. Lift, eat. You spend way too much time worried about hypotheticals that are completely irrelevant, not provable, and have no practical application to anybody. I'm saying based on the questions I've been seeing, because I mean, you're a regular. You're asking questions of that nature while squatting 40 kilograms. You know, get some work done, son. Come on. That's your pep talk. Oh man. Hold on, I'm gonna make another post here. If you lock in, you'll be at 100 kilograms from 6 months to a year, Benjamin. I agree with Joel. Coach has a +5 head of spellcrafting, right? Yeah, 40 kilograms. Yeah. Right. Right. Yep. I mean, but you've been coming here you've been training for a year. You've been worried about your form for a year. So, Benjamin, in that case, hell, do a consultation. Right. I mean, you're worried about your form, right? I'm going to check your channel and I'm going to see your form. Here we go. Go onto your channel, Benjamin. There's no form videos on your channel. You're not that worried about it. You haven't uploaded it anywhere for people to look at. I don't think you're actually worried about it. Yeah, but yeah, we're over at consultation level. You know, you're worried about your form. How many groups have you uploaded your form to? How many forums? Where is it at on your channel? You've been videoing if you're worried about it, you've been analyzing it in video, right? And if you say no, then my answer is then you lied about you're not actually worried about it. You actually don't care. This is tough love from a coach. You don't video it, then you don't actually care at all. You're not even remotely slightly concerned. This is called a cop out. Because if you really cared about your form, you would have been filming it. You'd be posting it to groups, you'd be posting it to forums, you would be posting it in places asking for form advice if you didn't have the money to hire someone to do it. Right. I started at 60 kilograms for 5, and then got to 140 for 5 in around 2 years. You can do the same if you lift. Yep. Yep. I hit 100. I hit a 405 squat within 18 months. So 405 is what, about 100, 185 kg. That's 4 plates in our stuff. So, thanks, Joel. Your squat. Great progress in advice. There you go. That's pretty solid, Joel. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair progress on Joel's part. Yeah. You know, it says I hit 365 in 9 months. So you see the point here, Benjamin? Chop chop. Hands down, good placement matter. Yes. Yes, Edward. Hand placement matters on the barbell row. Now, what is probably going to give you the best overall results? Probably right at shoulder width. Can be very similar to a closed grip bench. Could you arguably, the wider you go, get more upper back involvement? Yes. All right. I'm happy to just do right at shoulder width. So, and I do like sets of 15 with 225. Speaking of which, coach needs coffee. Hit that like, guys. All right, we're back. All right. That's what I was going to do. Squats, RDLs once a week, 3 sets each. Yes, peppermint there and line the problem. What's the problem? Yeah, BJ, he's making an extraordinary claim. He should supply evidence. Yeah, true. I mean, Jan, you did just make this account today. And you're making some pretty big claims. Just saying, I'm going to bust out and sing for you guys. We lost a like. Why do we lose a like while I was gone? So I'm going to sing. You guys ready for Coach to sing? I'm going to drop a hit, see if you guys know the song. Why you coming home at 4 in the morning? What you need to do is let me smell your dick. Don't play me like a fool, 'cause that ain't cool. Something's going on, I need to smell your dick. Why you coming home at 4 in the morning? So, that's a classic right there. That should have got a Grammy. All right. Is it 5 a.m.? I thought it was 4. Oh, well. Hey, Jan. But Jan, hey, man, that's a classic right there. All right. Hey, Jan, you just made this account today. You're making these crazy claims and insulting people. You better hope they don't start dropping the boat on you. You know how these people are. Are you sure it's 5 a.m.? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to check. Let's see if he's right about the lyrics. Oh, it is 5. I thought it was 4 in the morning. It is 5 in the morning. Oh, man. Well, looks like I was wrong. Coach, is soy bad to eat? No, there's no reason to think it is. 365, how deep you going? Right. How deep is he going? He goes balls deep, man. What are you talking about? First true thing you understood in the life, right? Oh man. It might be the first thing. Why did we lose a like? We had 10, we're down to 9. Bro, he went real quiet, man. Scared people gonna vote him off. A new account made today. He squats 545 for a triple, and he made the account today. Just for my coffee chat. All right. And it doesn't have any of this lifting footage. Well, Young, let's see some footage, man. I'll have it ready. Yeah, I'm just saying, guys. Yeah, 545 for a triple, man. Pretty solid stuff. There's no way he's lying about that in here, especially with a new account. Because that's exactly what people who make new accounts squat. Make a new account just for the coffee chat. Damn, Young, that's impressive. If only there was a way to upload it, right? If only people had cameras. You can't use the excuse from my day, which is why I say I don't like to talk about my lifts before smartphones existed, because I can't really prove it per se. So it's just best to leave it alone. If you guys notice, that is what I tried to say now. But guys, I really only want to talk about lifts I've done on the camera at this point. You know, yeah, my deadlift is my best lift. My arms are so long for my height. Yeah, that helps. Doesn't matter what I benched in my 20s at a heavier body weight. I benched 365 on camera. That's what matters. Right. So here's the question. It's like the tree falling in the woods. If you lift a weight but you don't film it, did you actually lift it? Yeah, I have a 6 wings. Your wingspan's the same as mine, Joel. That's my tip to tip. I've measured it before. Oh, Yun. All right, you guys ready? This is where coach comes in. Hey, Yun, how much you weigh? Tell me your height and weight. But that squat to deadlift ratio, I'm actually curious. No, it's not actually weak. It suggests a specific proportion. This is why I asked his height and weight. I mean, it's not like we believe him, but let's just go with it. I'm gonna humor him. Maybe it's real. He's 6'3" at 220. Okay. So you're 6'3" at 220. And those are your proportions. Isn't it very elite, technically elite lifter for your squat and deadlift? Why do you have a short, fat guy ratio as a tall, lean guy? I'm just saying. All right. Right. Mm-hmm. Speaks volumes. Because you're going to have to be pretty dang lean to hit that squat number. That deadlift should be real high. Right. A 6'3" guy at a fairly athletic body fat, which is what you would have to have for that squat. I'd like to see 150 pound gap between the squat and deadlift. Like I'd like to see on that deadlift, I'd like to see 650 for a triple, 700 for a triple. You're going to talk triples. Six-three leaner guys, not fat guys, who squat and deadlift are less than 5% apart. Yeah. But in any event, guys, yeah, you just made the account today, bro. We already know you're going to pipe some crazy stuff in a minute. Let me guess you're going to make a post about my social security number or one of my ex-girlfriends up next. It's all coming, man. Right. Or you're going to talk about my Section 8 sectional sofa. So I totally put up my living room in a reel. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh Lordy Lord. He could have made the comment, hey EJ, he made the account just to do this. At 5 in the morning in the US, he's using pounds. So we know he's American. He's not using metric, he's using freedom units. The sun isn't up in the US for the most part yet. He got up early, made and verified this account to come to the coffee chat. All right. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you were a betting man, given those facts, EJ, if right now your junk was on the chopping block, and if you get it wrong, the axe comes down, but if you get it right, you get $1 million. Which way are you voting? I like to give this when people talk about natties or not. I believe this person is natural. I'm like, okay. Horrific consequences versus getting $1 million. Which way are you voting? If there were real consequences to getting it wrong versus right and rewards. It's funny how people. I always do that with the fake natty thing. So, and I would use that to someone. Well, I believe this person is natural. I believe they are. I'm like, okay. So if God knew the answer, let's say God or aliens or someone who could actually know could find the answer right now. Your firstborn child up for execution versus you getting $1 million cash. If you get it wrong, your firstborn dies. If you get it right, you get $1 million. Which way are you voting? They a fake natty or are they natural? Joel says I deadlift 220 kilos for 2 at 74 at 12%. Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. Yeah, that makes sense. Using AIs on the first cycle. Going automatically to AIs. Let's just automatically do a low dose AI with no previous experience. And doing a heavy test cycle and doing AIs with it first time. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get behind that at all. You know? Yep. Why do dudes need a heavy first cycle? Once you learn more about your body a little bit. I don't never understood that. Because I want it faster. Really, you wouldn't make faster gains on any dose? Depot's not really that popular these days, no, Benjamin. Limitless, coach. I'm eating 400 grams of rice daily. Is this bad? I end up about 2,000 calories in my diet. I mix it with. Why would that be bad? Limitless, I don't understand the question. Why? I don't understand the logic. So I have no context for the question. Is there a reason? Like, are you asking me, is it too little? Do you need to be eating? Like, I don't know what's going on with your body weight. We're at consultation there, Limitless. If you're needing me to adjust your food intake, this is now coaching level, or at least diet adherence coaching. Limitless, do you watch any of my videos outside of my live streams? Name one good sports dietitian anywhere in the world who said carbs are bad. I'll wait. So these idiots on YouTube say it's bad. Okay. So why are you listening to idiots? So, Limitless, what's my position on carbohydrates? What's Coach Blaha's position on carbohydrates? What's my diet look like, Limitless? I'm going to show you my meals from yesterday, and I want you to look at my meals, and then you tell me what you think, if I can find them. All right. All right. There's my food yesterday. You also saw Ryan in here earlier, and Ryan lives on chicken, rice, and potatoes. He's down almost 100 pounds. right? You know? Plus, I don't have a context for 400 grams of rice. Is this dry? Is this like, I don't know what we mean by 400 grams. I've never weighed rice out. I have no clue what white rice weighs. So FYI, I measure mine in dry measurements with cups. So I actually don't know. Like, honestly, I have no idea how much 400 grams of rice. I don't even know what that means. So just for context. Um, right. Good morning. What's up, Gavin? How are you doing? Good morning. What's up, Rufio? We're getting some people rolling in. I'll keep this running a little longer. Only other thing I really have to get done is training this morning, so not a big deal. As long as I make my other posts. Facebook's doing decent this morning. So. What? In terms of at free match, he's still a novice. Who's a novice? I missed all the numbers, man. 74 kg. Hold on, let me math. I'm still getting complicated here. What is that in pounds? What is that in freedom units? That's going to be 163. Yeah, those still. He's still fairly lean though, but yeah, he could keep making lean gains though from there. But I think people forget this. You guys are so used to fake natties though that they forget. 165 at 12% body fat with abs is not terrible. Now he could still keep making gains, but I mean, really, a lean 175. I don't think people fully grasp how big that is for a true natty, right? So even if he puts on 10 pounds, it's not. About 40 pounds only mess one, and that's okay. For a natty, yeah, it's pretty good. But he's 5'10". He said he's 5'10". So we'll call him average height. Right. And then we got Young in here, just made his new account. By the way, guys, so a lot of y'all I'll let y'all vote on Young, by the way. I'm just not going to do it. A bunch of people seem annoyed by him. You guys are free to call it, though. This is regulars. Like everyone in here is a regular. We all know. Hey, Marco. Yeah, I mean, just watch the leg content. Be careful with your brands. Notice, though, in the lowest ones on that thing, what I use is on the lower end still. So I still kind of stick by my recommendation. Something like optimal nutrition. I think people forget, though, you're not getting away from heavy metals. There is no way you're getting rid of lead and arsenic in your diet. You cannot do it. But be aware of obviously not adding excess amounts. And I think people do forget that. There's a reason you have a liver. So we come over to, since you can't get rid of these heavy metals and things in your diet completely, maybe free up your resources. This is another reason I would say don't drink alcohol. You're competing with resources. So your body dealing with these various, so peppermint's biology background. you're dealing with these various toxins that your body's going to need to, your liver is going to need to handle. So maybe don't use up its resources on stuff like alcohol. Since you can't get away from lead and arsenic, you cannot do it. All right. Hey, William, just check my live streams titles. It's like, that's just funny. I wonder if he made a new account just to ask me that. There's got to be somebody just trolling me at this point. Let's see. No, he's got a new existing account. Did you not see my live stream title a couple days ago? Why are people still obsessing over the Bike is Real? It's pretty much making fun of the fact that people are still obsessing over it. So hop over to that one, William. Watch my first 5 minutes. No, it's all good. I've made multiple live streams basically repeating the same thing as the opening for the afternoon ones. It's just, I'm feeling like a broken record, man. Yeah, it's all good. So check my live stream feed and see the last one with that. And I'd summarize it. You got a little quick 5-minute summary, brother. It'll tell you. I'm just, in short, Mike's always been a marketeer. That's it. He's a salesman. Do we need to go any further than this at this point? You know, and I even reviewed his book. Let's be clear. I got a free copy of his original nutrition book and reviewed it for him. But at the end of the day, like he sent me it to review, but at the end of the day, Mike's a marketeer, and he always has been. He's just selling apps and programs. Do we really need to dig that much further into it? You know, the whole YouTube fitness industry is fake as hell, anyways, by and large. Some of them are good. I mean, his biomechanics information is correct, but his programming stuff is all bad. We all know it's garbage. Everybody knows his programming is garbage. We all know this. Every coach does. Right? We all know this. It's all garbage made just to sell programs and apps. It's complete nonsense. His biomechanics information is generally pretty accurate, which you would expect. He does actually have a formal background in exercise science. I would expect it to be. So he'll be able to outrun most of us on here, though, right? So. I think I figured. I'm young, but Jeff never decent. I mean, Jeff and I have had our back and forth. And Jeff loves to come through and take my stuff. And people say, Jeff doesn't, remember, guys, before anyone says Jeff doesn't watch my stuff and then reuse my criticism, he made a video basically saying he takes my criticism. Remember, Nipper printed my face out on a pillow, literally, and took a pillow with my face printed on it and was sleeping on it, making a joke video about it, and my voice playing in the background calling him a weak ass pussy. And he used that for motivation to go get stronger. Context, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I need to dig further into that. I mean, I basically summarized that the other day. I don't dislike Jeff per se, by the way. I don't dislike Jeff. But let's be honest, man. He spouts a lot of BS to make tier videos, pushes people away from effective exercises. Then he goes and runs a program pushing really hard on 6 sets a week and makes progress on the cut. Exactly. Because all the volume stuff that he's pushed and his tier stuff is complete. It's nonsense. It is complete nonsense. He knows it. Nobody drug-free is doing well on 6 day a week push-pull legs. Just stop. Just stop, bro. And his tier stuff is ridiculous. But I don't necessarily have an issue. I mean, Jeff's pretty jacked, pretty strong dude. He trains hard. Almost every note, right. Go through my comments over the years. How many people have dropped a dozen or more comments? Dr. Mike, Greg Doucette, Mike Israetel, Alexander Leonidas, Jeff Nippard, Ken Obadi, Bald Omni Man used to be a massive fanboy. Then he flipped on me and got pissed and hated me all of a sudden. He was a massive fanboy. If you guys remember, his real name is Paris Butler. He used to fanboy under his real name. He was in my comments every day. I paved the way. Alexander Leonidas stole quotes from me through the whole first 3 pages of his book. And he was in my comments every day back then. I'm just saying, guys. Right? A lot of people then trash talked me too. They jumped on that bandwagon. You know, it's all good though, guys. But I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I will probably never have their popularity. But they built all their bases of their stuff off my knowledge. And they were all in my comments for years. Almost at Coach of Strength Centers. And yet here I am, almost 50 years old, repping out 500 pounds on a deadlift several days a week. Running, jumping, doing sled work, barefoot running, just doing my thing, guys. Just being fit and strong and all around. An all-around athlete, man. Doing my thing. Yeah. Oh my God. Once you get fit, Joe, get out. You should run, dude. Yeah, GVS only came in when I called him on the site enhancement and the fake natty thing. That's the only time GVS ever came through. But man, did he cry like a little girl. You know? It's all good. Maybe the views will pick back up one day. Maybe they'll get like they used to. I think people forget I used to get 10, 12,000 views on every video back in the day. It's not my main platform. I do my lives in here. Everything else is multiple platforms. Not really a big deal. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. That makes sense with your wingspan, Joel. Again, Joel probably giving a. Yeah, you gonna do anything but trash talk people in here. Sounds to me like Joel's doing pretty good. You haven't seen Alfalfa Desi. We saw him with his sister. I thought his sister was kind of cute, to be fair. She's all right. You know. But I kind of said back then when people were harassing his sister, that's messed up. You guys got to chill with that stuff. Mm-hmm. And the Trex look, right? I got the long, but the thing is, when you have long arms, people are going to be like, when they see you online, but your arms are small, you know. And in person, I don't get that. It's really strange. It's so weird. I can be in a t-shirt and I've had people compliment my arms in public. You go to the internet and it's like, you have deer legs for arms. I got a 6'1" wingspan, guys. What do you want me to do? At least I got 4 arms. Oh man. Yeah. Classic internet body dysmorphia standards. What's up, Connor? Peppermint, no man. Are you guys still talking to you guys know Yoda's just a complete fake troll, guys. Come on. Y'all taking him way too seriously. Y'all taking him way too seriously, guys. Yoda's still in here. Yeah, he's still in here. Rad's back from training, uploaded all his footage to me already. Man. Ridiculous. I don't remember any. You guys watched way more of Alex than I did, apparently. I didn't know all this. These guys, well, they're called that bear. Yeah. And then he's gone full vegan. I don't know, man. I'm just going to leave it alone. Hey, Young, you claimed you were 6'3". If that's a problem, you can't be tall and make it to the Mr. Olympia. You got to be short. Sorry. Could my squat go real quick without doing any quad? Benjamin, you literally need to do nothing but squat to improve where you are from now. The numbers you have now, you could do nothing but back squats and get to 140 kilograms by doing only back squats. That's all you need right now. I'm just going to tell you how it is. You could literally back squat your way to 140 kilograms from where you are easily. All right. There we go, Ryan. Since you're going to laugh at me, I didn't want to train this morning, but it's Wednesday, so we train and had a great. There you go. Because it's when we train Monday, Wednesday, Friday for you. It's very straightforward. Alex says, why do I always pull my hamstring when I sprint? How can I prevent this? Strengthen your hamstrings. You could try training your hamstrings. What do you do for your hamstring training? They sound like a possible weakness. Yep, take care, Peppermint. Sounds like you've got some hamstring weakness, bro. Okay, you have like 400 at 170. All right. You do, what else do you do for your hamstrings though? Because it sounds, I mean, you clearly are dealing with a hamstring problem in spite of the deadlift strength. You got a quad weakness. I don't know. Could be some other stuff going on. Right. Exactly why I don't understand, but thanks for the input, right? Fair enough question, dude. Yeah, without a lot more analysis, that'd be a lot to figure out. Because if you don't have weak hamstrings per se and you're pulling it, I don't have an immediate answer for you, unfortunately, Alex. This is going to fall into, I don't know, you know. Why can't more dudes do that? I don't know. See how easy that is? On the internet, though, man. on the internet, you can't ever do that. Just know this, I don't know. All right, guys. I think I am going to wind this one down though. I got to get into my right mindset to go do some lifting. So we're going to roll out of here. Love you guys. If you guys would go comment under all my other videos, by the way, if you guys would go down there and tap a like, comment on all my videos, please, the ones I've done in the last day. I would appreciate that. So, yeah, we're out of here, guys. If y'all would go do that, though, thank you.